at The Silent Guardian of the Mind, a comprehensive guide to sleep, brain waste clearance, and dementia. Prevention. Introduction. The Nightly Miracle. You are ignoring, we spend approximately 1/3 of our lives asleep. For the average human, living to the age of 80, this amounts to roughly 26 years spent in a state of unconsciousness. For centuries, science viewed sleep as a passive state, a time when the body and brain simply shut down to conserve energy, much like a computer going into standby mode. We believed that while we slept, our brains were idle, waiting for the morning alarm to reboot the system. However, modern neuroscience has shattered this misconception. We now know that sleep is not a period of inactivity, but rather a time of intense, critical biological activity. It is during these quiet hours that the brain performs its most vital maintenance tasks. It consolidates memories, processes emotions, repairs cellular damage, and, most importantly for our long-term health, clears out toxic metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. Among these waste products is a protein fragment known as beta amyloid. In healthy brains, beta amyloid is produced and cleared away efficiently. However, when this clearance mechanism fails, beta amyloid begins to clump together, forming plaques between neurons. These plaques are the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease, the most common form of dementia. As these plaques accumulate, they disrupt communication between brain cells, trigger inflammation, and eventually lead to cell death. The result is a progressive decline in memory, thinking skills, and the ability to perform simple daily tasks. The terrifying reality is that this process begins decades before the first symptom of memory loss appears. By the time a person is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, significant damage has already been done. This is why prevention is not just important, it is urgent, and the most powerful tool we have for prevention is not a pill, but a habit: sleep. Specifically, how we sleep. Recent groundbreaking research has identified a surprising factor that influences how effectively our brains clear out this toxic waste: our sleeping position. Studies suggest that the lateral position, sleeping, on your side, may be the most efficient posture for the brain's glymphatic system to function. Conversely, sleeping on your back or stomach may hinder this cleaning process, potentially allowing waste to accumulate faster than it can be removed. This comprehensive guide, titled The Silent Guardian of the Mind, is designed to be the ultimate resource for understanding the intricate relationship between sleep posture, brain waste clearance, and dementia prevention. We will delve deep into the science of the glymphatic system, explore the hidden secrets of brain health that are often overlooked in standard medical checkups, identify the early warning signs of cognitive decline, and provide actionable, evidence-based strategies for protecting your brain as you age. Whether you are in your 30s looking to build healthy habits, in your 50s concerned about family history, or in your 70s seeking to preserve your independence, this book offers the wisdom and knowledge you need to take control of your brain health. We will move beyond generic advice like get 8 hours of sleep and explore the nuanced, specific, and often counterintuitive truths about how to optimize your nightly rest for maximum cognitive protection. Prepare to uncover the secrets of the brain that your doctor may not have time to explain. Prepare to change the way you sleep, and prepare to safeguard your most precious asset, your mind. Chapter 1. The Hidden Crisis. Understanding Dementia and Alzheimer's Disease 2. Understand why sleep posture matters, we must first understand what we are trying to prevent. Dementia is not a single disease. It is an umbrella term used to describe a group of symptoms associated with a decline in memory, reasoning, or other thinking skills. There are many different types of dementia, but Alzheimer's disease accounts for 60–80% of cases. The global epidemic dementia is often referred to as the silent epidemic. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, Currently, more than 55 million people live with dementia worldwide, with nearly 10 million new cases every year. This number is projected to rise to 78 million by 2030 and 139 million by 2050. This surge is driven largely by the aging global population, but also by lifestyle factors that increase risk, such as physical inactivity, poor diet, smoking, and excessive alcohol consumption. The economic impact is staggering. The total global cost of dementia was estimated at $1.3 trillion in 2019. If dementia care were a country, it would be the world's 14th largest economy. But beyond the economics lies the human cost. Dementia strips individuals of their identity, their independence, and their connections with loved ones. It places an immense emotional and physical burden on caregivers who often suffer from high levels of stress, depression, and health problems themselves. The biology of Alzheimer's, plaques and tangles. Alzheimer's disease is characterized by two abnormal structures in the brain, amyloid plaques and neurofibrillary tangles. Amyloid plaques. Beta amyloid is a fragment of a larger protein called amyloid precursor protein, APP. In a healthy brain, these fragments are broken down and eliminated. In Alzheimer's disease, they accumulate and form hard, insoluble plaques between neurons. These plaques block cell-to-cell signaling and trigger an immune response that causes inflammation and damages nearby cells. Neurofibrillary tangles. Inside. Neurons, another protein called tau, plays a crucial role in stabilizing microtubules, which are part of the cell's internal support structure. In Alzheimer's, tau proteins detach from microtubules and stick to each other, forming tangles. This causes the microtubules to collapse, disrupting the transport of nutrients and other essential materials through the long axons of nerve cells. Eventually, the cell dies. The spread of tau tangles through the brain correlates closely with the severity of cognitive decline. While amyloid plaques may begin accumulating 15-20 years before symptoms appear, tau tangles tend to spread as the disease progresses, moving from the memory centers, hippocampus, to other areas of the brain responsible for language, reasoning, and social behavior. The glymphatic system, the brain's sewer system. For a long time, scientists believed the brain did not have a lymphatic system, the network of vessels that removes waste from the rest of the body. The brain was thought to be an immune-privileged organ, isolated from the body's general waste disposal systems. This changed in 2012 with the discovery of the glymphatic system by Dr. Maiken Nedergaard and her team at the University of Rochester Medical Center. The term glymphatic combines glial, referring to glial cells, the support cells of the brain, and lymphatic. The glymphatic system is a macroscopic waste clearance system that utilizes a unique system of perivascular tunnels formed by astroglial cells to promote efficient elimination of soluble proteins and metabolites from the central nervous system. Think of it as the brain's plumbing system. Here is how it works. Cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, influx. During sleep, CSF flows into the brain tissue along the outside of arteries. Waste exchange. As the CSF moves through the brain tissue, it mixes with interstitial fluid, the fluid between cells. This mixing allows the CSF to pick up waste products, including beta amyloid and tau proteins. Waste efflux. The waste-laden fluid then drains out of the brain along the outside of veins, eventually entering the lymphatic system in the neck and being filtered out by the body. Crucially, this system is highly active during sleep and largely inactive during wakefulness. When we are awake, our brain cells are busy firing signals, and the space between them is smaller. When we sleep, particularly during deep non-REM sleep, brain cells shrink by up to 60%, creating more space for the CSF to flow through and flush out toxins. If this system is impaired, if the flow is blocked, slowed, or inefficient, waste products accumulate. Over time, this accumulation leads to the formation of plaques and tangles, setting the stage for Alzheimer's disease. Why sleep posture matters. The efficiency of the glymphatic system is not just dependent on whether you sleep, but how you sleep. Research using dynamic contrast-enhanced MRI in rodents has shown that the lateral side sleeping position is significantly more efficient at clearing brain waste than the supine, back, or prone stomach positions. In the lateral position, the geometry of the brain and the surrounding spaces allows for optimal flow of CSF. The gravity-assisted drainage pathways are aligned in a way that facilitates the removal of waste. In contrast, sleeping on the back or stomach may create mechanical obstacles or reduce the pressure gradients necessary for efficient fluid exchange. While most of this research has been conducted on animals, the anatomical similarities between rodent and human brains suggest that the findings are likely applicable to humans. Furthermore, observational studies in humans have linked poor sleep quality and certain sleep disorders, like sleep apnea, which is often worse in supine positions, to higher risks of cognitive decline. This brings us to the core message of this book. Your sleeping position is a modifiable risk factor for dementia. By choosing to sleep on your side, you may be actively helping your brain clean itself, reducing the burden of toxic proteins and lowering your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. But sleep posture is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly protect your brain, you must understand the F